Hi there, you guys. So, guess who's a big idiot? Um, there's a reason the words I'm saying aren't lining up with the mouth movements on screen that you're seeing there. It's because I recorded this video, and I thought I did a pretty good job until I looked to see that my mic was muted during the entirety of the recording. So, yeah, as a result of that, I'm having to do this little voiceover segment here while I'm editing, and I get to see my own stupid face talk about the strategy I want to explain to you guys without realizing that I am not actually being recorded. So it's okay. I can still explain the strategy in post here, and we're just gonna cut through the bits, and you'll get it. Anyways, so there have been a few big patches to Path of Exile Heist so far. Those patches have made it much easier to open every box, and then as a consequence of that, they had to nerf it somewhat and make it so that boxes generated more alert level, and as a result of that, you can no longer just baseline open every box in a zone with basically anybody. However, there are mechanics in the game that still allow you to get basically all of the loot out of a heist if you build around them correctly. And the one I want to talk to you about today is what I'm hovering over here, which is extending the lockdown timer. There are two stats that are valuable for this. I'm currently hovering over an item that has plus 4 seconds to your lockdown timer. That is the much rarer stat and the more powerful one. And then there is percent increased lockdown timer duration, which scales those flat extra seconds really, really well. So I am in solo self-found this league. I do not have particularly good gear. I have still been able to get lockdown timers that are long enough that I can get everything out of a zone, at least running Isla, and I think with good enough gear, you can get everything out of a zone regardless of who you're running, so long as they're geared with items that have flat additional seconds to your lockdown timer and percent additional seconds or percent additional time to your lockdown timer across their gear. You're going to want at least a couple flat added seconds rolls and percent wherever you can get it. You're going to then be able to push your lockdown timer to 50 seconds, a minute and a half, even 2 minutes in theory with Isla and with really good gear. And the kicker here is that this will stack in a Grand Heist. So Grand Heists become absurdly easy to open absolutely everything because you just bring a bunch of NPCs that all have additional seconds to the timer and all have percent increased timer, and all of that stacks together. And you get like a 2 to 3 minute timer if you do it right. It gets pretty silly. You can even alt spam your heists and alt spam your contracts in order to get increased time that will then stack with the item scaling of increased time. It gets a little out of hand. Anyways, me and Isla will meet you at the end of this contract when I demonstrate exactly how this works on pretty crappy gear. Again, I want to remind you, I am in solo self-found. I have had to roll this myself, and it is pretty tough to roll the flat additional seconds roll. That one seems kind of rare. So I don't have optimal setup yet, and even without an optimized setup, I am still able to fully loot the majority of the contracts that I run with Isla, and almost fully loot the ones that I run with all of the others. So I will see you on the other side, which is going to happen right now because of movie magic, but I'm going to have to go edit some stuff, so alright, so here I am again. Not the me you see on screen, but the voiceover me. And I'm clicking the final box here right before we're about to finish the lockdown. And you can see the timer is just under a minute. I believe it was like 51 seconds or something at the start. And that allows me to rush through, click every remaining box on the way to the end. I did open the door at the end in preparation for this, and get the item and get out alive. So previous to that, I had looted just about everything. This is a regular contract. They are pretty short, so there weren't that many boxes left to get. But again, the effect is multiplicative as you go into Grand Heists, which are longer, have more boxes, but also have more rogues in them that you get to bring along, and thus more lockdown timer that you get to cheese. The strategy really does kind of grow with the content and does really well, either in contracts themselves or in the Grand Heists. So that's really all there is to it. It's fairly straightforward. You do want to pay attention to the item level on the bases that you're rolling. Try and get decently high eye level ones so that you can roll the T2 plus rolls at the very least of increased lockdown timer and additional seconds. And go ahead and go crazy. Stack this. Use it to get all the loot on the way out, or on the way in, rather. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one.